right, OB34 tier list is what we're doing. We're only 2 days after the patch. So if something ends up being a little off or, more nerfs, buffs come through, then that might change things. I'm going to put Achilles in A tier as a jungler, probably an in-between. I almost want to do an in-between. Hold on, let me get their feedback. Let me get the boys' feedback. Feedback real quick. Feedback. Should I do A+ and B+ as tiers?
I think A+.
Fine, not B+.
Not B+. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. There's their feedback. If you don't agree, call them dumb. So we can do SS is OP, must pick, must ban. S tier, top fucking pick, probably getting through. A+ are going to be very good all the time, regardless of what you're playing against. Not going to be OP, but just very good all the time. A tier is going to be like your middle of the pack. You can pick it. You might get counter picked. You might not. B are going to be situational counter picks or just gods that might excel if you are a high level player maining that god. So this will probably not apply to a lot of people, but it might also give you the confidence to play it. Like you might see the Morrigan as a god you want to play, and only one person can really play the Morrigan. C tier is going to be trash. Probably shouldn't play it. I think I like this layout better to clean it up a bit. Did I do Achilles already? Yes, I did. Achilles in A tier as a jungler. A tier, maybe B tier as a solo laner. Agni, I think Agni is a top tier mid. I don't think you're ever banning it though. Genuinely, someone ban the guy that's still in here who was talking shit about Alpha's voice. No one asked for your opinion, bro. Yeah. Okay. So Agni's always good. Never shouldn't get banned unless someone's target banning because they don't want to deal with it. Solid, really good god. Aladdin's the best god in the game, in my opinion, and I am surprised Irez has seemingly given up on balancing it, or maybe it's just because he's balanced at lower end levels and at high end he's not. If you learn how to play this god, he's the best god in the game. Amaterasu's bad. Someone will say something, but my imp build, but objective burning. This god is bad. It is not a good jungler. It is not a good solo laner. If you're in shit tier games, you can get away with pure auto attack on this god and have fun, just like you could on anybody if you're just better than everyone. Almost bad. Don't play that god. On her, probably, I'm like in between these two here. I think Honor's the best hunter in the game. I think it pretty much counters anything that can be played. And it's funny because he was nerfed and he's still the best hunter in the game. I don't think SS is crazy. I think I'm banning Honor every game. I don't know what I'd ban over Honor other than Aladdin. I'm trying to think of all gods in the game. I'm banning Honor. I don't think Jing is better. I think Jing is better if somebody isn't frontlining correctly. Because if you play Jing Wei and a solo laner says, all right, guys, I'm going to stick to the Jing Wei, and he builds right? He's got Spectral, he's got Nemean, and he's just focusing on CCing you and being annoying. I feel like you don't play the game. Like you actually don't get to play the game. I think Jing Wei is overly safe. I think On Her is overly aggressive, and I'd rather have pressure aggressiveness in my game than let's get to late game and one-shot people. Most players get worse as the game goes on. Example, and I'm not shitting on Bio this game, but he's a good example because it happened tonight. He was 12-1-12 on a Wheelix, and his late game was pretty much non-existent. So a lot of people, while they may get their farm, their lead, whatever, play the late game, are worse in the late game than they are in the laning phase. So I'd rather them guaranteed get a lead in the laning phase and still have a strong late game. Anubis is cracked right now. You might ban it if people don't understand building. I can't think of the item. I've literally been saying it every day. Contagion. If people aren't building Contagion in the tank roles to deal with Anubis, might be really hard to deal with. But Anubis overall is pretty much a W key god. W keying, it's why Artemis is good in lower brackets. It's why Anubis has the highest win rate out of any god in the game with the most games played at the same time. I think that's telling. It just all ranks Anubis scales ridiculously. I personally don't think you need to ban it. You can definitely deal with it, but it's up there. I think Aphrodite is insanely situational, and you're really not going to get away with it consistently. Reason being, she's not great in support. She's not great in mid. People don't know how to play against her, which gets you over on those players for a little bit. Then once they played against her once or twice and they learn it, you have no advantage. There's no gain. There's no benefit you have over other gods in the game in whatever role you're playing. Most people are probably forced to get into support. You lose frontline. You lose true control. You lose like peel. Not a fan. I don't think you're trolling, but I'm not a fan of the god. I think Apollo is very, very good. I think if you're looking at ADCs right now, you're looking at On Her, Hou Yi, Cupid, Jing Wei, and Apollo. Probably in that order. I don't think I'm forgetting anything. I think that's the order I'd put them in. In this meta, and with the changes they made to towers, I don't think Ishtar is top 5 right now. I think she's really easy to gank and deal with. maybe close. Like you could argue a 6 if you're playing hyper safe, but once then you're playing for late game, you might as well play Jing Wei and be safer. Apollo in this meta where they changed towers. Towers gold and XP are not global anymore, they're local. So if you split push, you get all the gold and all the XP. So before, taking an early tower was kind of troll because it pushed the wave and you lost a lot of control on the map because they would then be able to just keep your farm on their side of the map. Now you split push one fight on Apollo, you get a tier 2 and you have a crazy lead. The map pressure doesn't matter anymore because you can put pressure on all the other towers and get an even bigger lead. I like Apollo. I think he's safe. I think he works with crit or auto attack build, and I wouldn't say he's the safest, but in terms of like if Honor's banned, if Hoyi's not, you know, that's banned a lot of games too. Apollo's pretty safe once you get down to those other gods. I enjoy Apollo. I'm an Apollo enjoyer, and just in terms of fun playing the god. Ares, I think Ares is kind of mid. I think B. I think I'm putting Ares in B now, which I'm sure is gonna tell people. I don't think I'm putting him in A anymore. People are learning to build active items earlier. AoE beads are being built by mids. You have Aegis to counter the god. You have CC immunity to counter the god. If you're late picking Ares in a draft, I would then maybe say A. Like, hey, I know they can't counter pick me. I'm good against 1 or 2 gods. It's fine. But if you're early picking Ares in a draft, there's just like, look at these gods right now, right? CC immunity, CC immunity, CC immunity, CC immunity, and we're just like at the beginning. We're not even at all the good gods. Pretty sure gold is still global, just the XP is local. I thought the gold, no, the gold has always been, I'm talking about the balls. I'm talking about the balls. You're getting the balls plus local XP. I should have clarified. The balls, by the way, are 30, 30, 30, 30, and then 60, 60. So you're getting a fuck ton of gold. You're getting 300 gold off of being the only one around that kills the tower. And then the shaft falls. You get the balls, you get the shaft to fall. It's a good time. All right, Artemis. Artemis is very unsafe, but also very simple. You ult when you want CC immunity, or you run at people and you ult and you hold left click and you auto. That value, I think, carries some weight. I don't think I would safely put Art up in A+ because good comps are going to kill her. She's not a lot of mobility. You really should try to get a, you can't afford it because you're an ADC, but you want an early combat blink, you just can't get it. Probably gonna put her in A. Everyone's saying Artio OP and solo. I don't see it OP yet. I see it decent. I'll probably put it in A+ just to like follow up and listen to the good solo lane players. I think Athena is a little slept on right now. I genuinely like Athena with the ult. Good use of the Athena ult will win you the game every fucking time. I think you lose pressure in the early game, which is gonna mess with a lot of players. But if you could deal with that, or if somehow they don't pick pressure picks, they don't have Sylvanas, they don't have crazy out clear, or maybe you pick crazy clear ADC, pair that with Athena, and they don't have it, then you'll be fine. It's usually the early game and the early laning phase that I don't like on Athena. Rest of the game, I think Athena's cracked. No, that's Athena support. Athena jungle's ass. Don't do that to yourself. Atlas, there just isn't enough data for me. I think he's very mid, but there just isn't enough data to say he's anything else other than extremely average right now. His CC's okay. He dies. He can be locked down very easily. He is annoying. If you have a lot of frontline and collapsing damage on your team, Atlas feels great, but I'm almost B, but right now I'm gonna leave him in A. He's only been out for a couple days. A Wheelix. I was an Wheelix hater until I saw the auto attack build, and I've watched other people use the auto attack build. I think a Wheelix is very good. The later you can draft her, the better for sure, because she has counter matchups. Not a lot of them, but she has some counter matchups. She's a pretty solid pick. I mean, you have high mobility. Your jungle clear is solid-ish. After the changes to Bumbosphere, that's arguable. Her fights are good, low cooldowns, and playing auto attack, the lower ranked you are, the better this is. Bacchus, I like Bacchus right now. I like Bacchus. I personally don't like playing Bacchus, but I like Bacchus being on my team. I think his lane control, I think his CC setup, I think his chains make following him up is like easy as fuck. So bad teammates are much better when surrounded by a good Bacchus player. Very easy to see Bacchus flop, me CC, you know, me hit, he belch, me hit, guy dies, right? Baron, I think Baron, people have been hyping up Baron for too long and I'm shutting that shit down. I think Baron is beyond mid. I don't think he's trash. I think he's just so much lower than mid. I think both. I'm gonna put Aspect in the same spot. I think people overhype Baron. Actually, that's a lie. I'm gonna put regular Baron in C tier. I think regular Baron is trash. I'm gonna put Aspect in B just as a spoiler. Bologna, they kind of basically said they messed up and didn't do anything when they tried to make the changes to attack speed and stuff for melee gods. Bologna isn't doing shit. The Golden Blade change really isn't doing enough. The damage isn't even noticeable. I'm putting Bologna in B tier. I don't think she wins many lanes, and I don't think her team fight's that scary. Maybe, and I have her in B tier instead of C, because if you have a bunch of auto attack gods, then she can be relevant, but probably still isn't. I'm gonna be honest with you. Cabrakan is cracked. I think Cabrakan is personally top 2 solo laners. That god stomps most lanes, is really fucking hard to kill even without defense items, and then once he has defense items, he's extremely hard to kill. It has a ridiculous CC chain. I'm putting him in S tier. I'm coming around to the Serb, but not for the reason that the idiots in my stream think. Ribster's been preaching that this god's OP. I think Jiggy was saying the god's good. A couple other people were like, he's really good. That was before Anubis and all these lifesteal builds and lifesteal gods took over. I think with the lifesteal healing going on right now, where I probably would have Serb in like B, maybe A, I borderline want to put him in A+ because of it. Serb is the Nemean of gods, underrated. So I'm gonna put him in A+. He's also easier to play in Smite 2. The 1 is very, very easy to hit, where Smite 1, most people couldn't hit that shit. Regular Cern, I'd probably put regular Cern in B. You have to know how to play very in their face with a god that has no CC immunity, and most people can't do that. Chalk is mid. He's not good, but low level players can get value out of him. I hate Charon. I think this god sucks. I really think, I don't think he's like the worst god in the world, but I think he sucks. I'm putting him in B. His early game is trash. He's really not that threatening at all in the first 20 minutes of the game. Late game, he's very annoying, but that's because all of the damage amping up, being silenced or hit by something for like a second could be you dying. I am not a fan of that god. Chiron, I think Chiron's fine. Early game, slightly weak. Really, really insane late game. Just crazy late game. If you don't know how to play Chiron, you get full build, your team goes in, you sit in the fucking back, like you're in your base, you ult, you kill everybody. You ult a squishy and the person will die instantly. Cupid, I am a Cupid enjoyer. I don't know if I put him in S on his own. Cupid's a god you want to know what you're playing against. If they have any dashes, any movement, if they're playing like Hoyi, if they're playing Apollo, if they're playing gods that you can lock down essentially. So Honor would do well in the Cupid, well, would counter Cupid fully. Medusa would do well and kind of counter Cupid fully, like really fully, especially with the changes. Think of other ADCs. Outside of that, like any god where if Cupid ults and then they ult, I think they're kind of gonna have a good matchup. Like Jingwei is gonna have a good matchup with Cupid, but you're gonna have to play, like the Jingwei's gonna play around it. But if you're against anyone else where you could just spam ult, get beads or get something used every time, Cupid gets insane value. The healing on Cupid is underrated. Objective play on Cupid is underrated because of the healing. I think Cupid's ult is the best team fight ult in the game for ADCs. Next would be like Hoyi if used properly, where Cupid you just have to hit it on people, throw it on people. Like Alpha said, I think if you know what you're playing against, it becomes an S tier. I think if you're early picking it, it's A+. So that's, I'm gonna leave him in A+ for now. Dodgy is cracked. I would not ban Dodgy, but Dodgy is definitely one of the best junglers in the game. It's just simple, it's easy. Build a fuck ton of cooldown and spam your ult. Have fun. Danza is hard to get away with. Doesn't have good mobility. Doesn't really fit anywhere well. Don't think it's a bad ADC, but not great. I think Disco is cracked because of her safety in mid and her control. Spam gods are good, dude. Spam gods go crazy. ESET, I'm not a fan of ESET. She doesn't have the pressure that she had in Smite 1, and I think that's why I'd almost put her in B tier, but you will be able to gain pressure against bad players, so I'll leave her in A. Fenrir has no way to be played right now. I tried tank jungle Fenrir and it felt like shit. I'm putting him in B. Too many ways to get beads, AoE beads, Magi's, CCing the Fenrir. The damage isn't getting output. I'm not a huge fan of Fenrir. I think Ganesha is good. Ganesha might be my favorite support in the game. Lane is decent, but not great. All the team fights are god tier. I think Ganesha is the best team fight for a support in the game. Fenrir damage is good. It's not. The 3 gets interrupted every time against anyone who knows how to play the game. Leaps break it. Silence breaks it. CCing him breaks it. Aegis canceled it. Like, what are we talking about? Do you want to know? Look, there are some gods where if a smart player is on the enemy team, you lose, right? So, okay. You pick Fenrir, they pick Ganesh. You're cooked. You pick Anubis, they pick Ganesh. You're cooked. Even if they don't pick Ganesh, say you're Fenrir and they go Serb, and the Serb goes a silence item because he's not stupid. You don't get to play the game. He just holds his silence for every time you brutalize. There are gods that are much weaker when people have brains. I understand most people you play against don't have brains. This tier list is based around playing it correctly. So if you were against a Fenrir and you could run that item, like I'm telling you, this is what I would do if I needed to keep my team alive. Geb got buffed in this patch. I'm not going to over place him on the tier list, but I like Geb right now. I think Geb is really fucking hard to fight into, and his shields are insane, and people do not build anti-shield items like erosion and everything else. Is it erosion? No, what? Is it erosion that is anti-shield? It's not erosion. Erosion's the pen item. What's the anti-shield defense item? It is erosion? It has both? Nah, I don't shield Twitter's ass. It is erosion? Okay, it's erosion, yeah. So like people don't build erosion, people don't build just the plating item, Pharaoh's Curse. They don't build items that break shields. So gods like Geb are just unstoppable. Gilgamesh, I think, is extremely average. They balanced out his aspect and main. They tried above his main. It's just very mid. Not a crazy laning phase, not a crazy engage, not an insane amount of damage. Just very okay god. Playable, winnable if you know what you're doing, but not over the top. Guan sucks. I hate Guan. I just think the god is ass. You pretty much play aspect if you play it, and even then, I think it's worthless. Hades is also trash. Stone of Binding. I was thinking of Stone of Binding. Erosion is the item, and I was combining the two like an idiot. Hades sucks. They haven't made him a tank, and they haven't made him a damage dealer. They're trying to get a mix of both, and they need to give up on that and just commit to probably being a tank. When that happens, God will probably spike to the top. I understand a lot of Hades players can farm idiots. Bro, you should be able to deal with the Hades like nothing. You should never be stuck in his ultimate. He should die instantly if he's going damage, which he has to clear. If he doesn't go damage, he goes tank. He's never clearing the wave. So you just out clear him and out farm him and rotate as a soul laner. And you're never playing this in any other role. Hekate's kind of fallen off. I don't think she's bad though. I think she's just forgotten about. I think this god's damage is still a little unmatched in that mid lane where she was pretty much the best mid in the game. A lot of gods caught up with item changes and stuff like that. I think she's just forgotten right now and still very, very good. Hercules doesn't have anywhere to be played. I think he's okay in solo. A or A plus. I wouldn't really argue against either of them. You can't play him in jungle now because you can't fucking clear. It feels like shit. You're just AFK jungling for actually 20 minutes out of your 30-minute game. So as a solo, I put him in A. Oh, he is still cracked. Wouldn't ban it. Would top pick it every game. Mulan is extremely mid because her late game falls off. If you can stomp your lane, you're fine. If you can't, maybe B is a little unfair. I'll put her in A. I think Hunbats is very good in the jungle. Would not ban it and wouldn't prio pick it, but it's one of the top 5 junglers in the game. Ishtar's aspect got nerfed. Main Ishtar's great late game, but extremely unsafe in the early mid. So I'm gonna put her in A. I do not like Izanami. My problems with Izanami, and I don't think she's trash. She'll still give you lane pressure most of the time. You can read where her dash is going. So you're telegraphing your 3 all day. It's a slow cast as well. Your 2 is a slow cast as well. Your 1 being popped is a slow cast. When I say cast, I mean the animation of like it happening before it lands. The ultimate, also slow animation. If they overhaul Izzy, make all 4 abilities land faster. So from you pressing the button to the time they explode, land faster. I think that god is actually really good and played all the time. They just haven't done it, and she feels clunky as fuck because of it. Do not play this god. If you are not Elion, Benny Q, fucking Stallone, like some of the top players, do not play it. Like literal below C if you are not one of those human beings. If you are one of those human beings, probably A+. But I'm gonna be honest, I'm leaving it here. So anyone who doesn't listen to this doesn't play this god. I like Jingwei right now. I think crit is strong for sure. I think good solo laners are gonna make a Jingwei's life very, very difficult. So that's why I don't really have her much higher. I'd put her in top 5 though, and I'd put her ahead of Apollo. And I also think she's a way better pick than Cupid and Apollo with no information. Like if you're top picking, I think she's a really, really good top pick. Where, like I said, if Cupid ults you, you ult, then you still have your beads, right? Your late game aggression is nuts. If the other team doesn't have somebody full tank sitting in front of you with an Nemean, you're gonna insta kill any squishy. It's like 3 autos, I think, or something with the crit build, or maybe it's 2 now. I like Jingwei. I just think people struggle with positioning on her. And there's a lot. Ho Yi is a good pick into Jingwei, a very good pick. So would I pick Jingwei over Ho Yi? Probably not. Could you be fine with it? Yes. I think Yorm is doo-doo. I don't even think this god is situational. I think that god is just doo-doo. And I'm sure someone's like, but I auto really hard. Brother, you have 1 knock-up. In the late game, the vision should be everywhere. You should be spotted. You shouldn't be getting a knock-up engage in the late game. And then you take 4 minutes to go in your ult and you die before it casts. Trash. I think Kali is really, really strong currently because she can just kind of prio farm the map where a lot of gods can't. I think she has the ability to play ability based or auto attack based. I think auto attack based is better up until probably Obsidian, maybe a little over Obsidian. And then after that, it becomes team based. Not a huge fan of everyone playing ability based because they don't fully understand it, but your combo does one shot. Kali S tier minimum? I don't think so, dude. I do think she's good, but I don't think so. If she gets to full build late game, lots of arguments to be made there, right? Because you could have combat blink and beats. But most players, especially with the jungle being harder to farm and the nerf the Bumba spear, she kind of falls behind a lot. Well, her clear is great when you're auto attack build. It's fine. Like the Bumbas hurts, but you just go crit dagger because you don't care about ability damage. I think A+ is safe. If Johnny was going to argue S, I wouldn't be like, you're wrong. I just would say I'm kind of leaning more towards A+. Khepri. I think Khepri's a sleeper. Bluestone Khepri, you clear the wave like it's free. You cannot early pick this god. I'm gonna go situational for now, but I think it's A tier. I think some people need to put some time on this god. You have to last pick this as a support or like fourth pick it because there's Thanatos, there's Achilles. You know, you're gonna deal with gods that are gonna try to hard counter the Khepri, but I think people are sleeping hard on Khepri. They buffed regular Khepri, they nerfed aspect Khepri. I think people are sleeping on Khepri and haven't played it enough, genuinely. The reason for that, by the way, Khepri plays an in and out play style, right? You have an engage with your 3, you have a hard CC engage with your 1, you have self peel with your 2, or like, you know, defensive peel for your teammates with the 2, making them tankier. You have the soft reset with the ultimate. A lot of gods right now are good because they kit dump somebody, right? They full combo, okay? So Anubis, ults down. Is Anubis really that scary in a late game fight once his ult is down? Not really. So Khepri's gonna counter that. People use full ult combos outside of that, like team fights, like Hun Bat's ults, Awelix combos, full jump ins. If the target is taken away from them and reset, I think Khepri slept on right now. But it's also the active items. Khepri can rush 3 active items, essentially have 7 abilities, and it feels like you always have something to do for your team, and I think that's just a good way to play the game. Kukulkan's pretty solid. I think bad players play Kukulkan and it makes it seem worse. The CC immunity is why I could see an argument down to A, but I have him in A+. I think Loki's extremely slept on as well right now. I think Loki is a better jungler than Hun Bats and Awelix. I think as an individual level, better. I think in a carry the game yourself level, better. Hun Bats team fights are pretty cracked, but I think I think Loki's. You get combat blink. Yeah, you're scared of Loki. I hate playing against Lokis. You have to change your play style. You usually have to have an Aegis against the Loki. So if anyone like maybe not Hun Bats, but say someone else in the game that can play around and not having beats, like an Ares, an Anubis, just anyone who's dodgy's not gonna be the same thing as Loki usually, unless it's aspect Loki. But still, Loki causes everyone to shift their playstyle and is a lot of pressure. And a good Loki that can stealth from max range and engage off of that, not a lot is as scary as that right now. I think Medusa got a lot better in this patch. I thought the 1 change. So her 1 now, every auto does 2% of their max health. Is max health, I think. On E, so 4 times. So you do 8% of their max health on the 1. And they lowered the cooldown on the 2. I like Medusa. The map corridors and stuff really put her in a spot to get insane value out of her ult. I think we saw somebody hit a 5-man ult the other day in a game. I'd borderline maybe put Medusa over Apollo now that I'm thinking about it, but Apollo's easier for you to win games on. Medusa requires your positioning to be far better than all these other gods, and I'll probably leave her in A+ because of that. Her dash can be blocked. Her ult can be, you know, avoided pretty easily. You can jump it, you can turn away and only take some of the damage. You can beads it, Aegis it, whatever, right? Like, she's a really, really positional base god. I think Mercury is doo-doo now, bro. I actually, maybe not doo-doo, I might be exaggerating. Compared to where he would have been here pre this patch. Then they nerfed crit a little bit. Then they nerfed Bumba Spear. I think I'm putting him in A. I'm not putting him in C tier. If you go the crit starter, it's perfectly fine on Mercury. I have a build up on Smite Source. Like, your late game still feels good. It definitely still feels good. Your time to kill is ridiculous. It's very low. Let's see if I can pull it up just to show you guys. Like, if you're going this build, your clear is not bad with Spear. Or with Arrow, sorry. It's not the same as Spear, but it's not bad. It feels pretty solid, I'm gonna be honest. At this point, with 3 items, you'll kill super fast. You end up still getting the combat blink. The downside of this build is if you don't know how to use active items, you're cooked. Because it's 3 active items plus your beats. If you can run this build properly, though, you can essentially ult somebody, auto once with the Lernian. They insta-die. The Lernian does 750 damage. Your auto plus that will pretty much insta-kill, or 2 autos. Like, your 2 autos happen in less than half a second. And then you can combat blink out, combat blink to the next target, combat blink to reposition. You have the bees in case you're about to get CC'd. You can shift this into a Magi's if you wanted to. This still does a lot. Like, it's still a really good late game. For sure. Merlin, I think Merlin is still really good. I think Merlin is a top mid. You are still the highest clearing mid, so you have the most pressure out of mid. Positioning is really key. I think the yellow number build on Merlin is probably better than a standard build. So you're looking at your Bluestone, your Soul Reavers, Totem of Death, Divine Ruin if you want it, Soul Gem if you want it. Most people should not play Aspect Merlin. You basically just play regular Merlin, stay in Void and Frost. Majority of your time is spent in Frost. Fire stance if they dive on you or if you're diving on top of them. And if you stick to those rules, you should have a good game. Echo is trash. Echo got nerfed. People don't know. So Echo got super hyped up by everybody. Everyone's like, yo, Echo's OP. This is dumb as shit. Then before it hit live, they nerfed it. That nerf killed it. It made it from, oh, this damage is pretty nuts to this is trash. Mordred, there's a build out right now. Auto attack builds, full damage, lifesteal. It's pretty damn good in the jungle and in solo. I think you die really easily. So if you're not very comfortable with being aggressive and able to like pay attention to your map while fighting, you're going to struggle with this because you're going to overcommit and die a lot. That's why I'm not putting him in S plus or an S, but it is it's a strange, very strong build. MLF is top tier. Self peel is off the charts. If they don't have knockup immune junglers, you basically win like never get dove like at all. Or if you wait for their knockup immunity to be down and then you're self peeling and you're full healing off your ult. MLF is an S tier god for me. Very, very, very strong. I like Naja, but I don't really feel like there's a good spot for the god. Jungle feels mid. Solo feels, that's Aspect. That feels better, but still kind of mid. I'm going to leave it there. Neath mid is still cracked. You can't change my mind. God does too much damage and takes too little skill. Nemesis. I think Nemesis is top 5 junglers, maybe top 3 or 4. Probably top 3, but maybe 4th, but probably 3rd. Just ability based. No auto attack shit. Just go ability based, insta kill people and have fun. Never die. Nua got slaughtered. They nerfed this god in the ground. I'm just putting it in C tier. I'm gonna be real with you. Nut mid mage is fucking nuts with Mirrodin. Have fun. Odin, counter pick god. You're not playing that unless you're counter picking. And even then, debatable if it's good if the other team understands how good Shell is against the god and just upgrades their shit and gets multiple shells. Osiris feels a little bit better in this patch, I think, but I still don't think it's good enough. I'd rather have a Kabrakan. I'd rather have even like an Achilles or an Ardio or what other warriors am I fucking forgetting? I don't know. Any of the other warriors. Thor. Is a Spectral for Echo really that hard? What do you mean? Are you landing Mordred ults on any good players though? I don't think you care if you land Mordred ults with the build because you just 2 them and auto them and they die in like a second with the build. I don't think Osiris is top 3 solos at all. I'm gonna be honest. Pele jungle solid. I really just like the movement. The CC immunity, I'd leave the god at A+. I think it's really strong. Good at pub stomping. I think Poseidon's ass. Maybe if they literally can't go Aegis and because your team has just so many beads burners or whatever. Other than that, I think Poseidon's ass. Bari, I think, is disgustingly OP after the 15-minute mark. Maybe 12 minutes. But one of the worst gods of the first 12 minutes. Maybe first 9 minutes. Just an insane late game. Probably the easiest, highest damage output you could get on a god. It's just way too difficult to get away with. You're being dove. I don't even know if situational is fair. I think the god's damage is there, so I wouldn't put him in C. Rama, I think, is slept on a little bit. The damage is there. The safety is not. So I'm between both of these. I'll probably go A tier because of the lack of safety. Meaning pretty much every ADC has a good matchup in a Rama. But once you get into team fights, if you're not worried about that and you're just able to press left click, one of the harder hitting gods in the game. Raw burns towers. Rad got buffed, but nobody plays this motherfucker. I don't think he's bad. I just don't know how good he is. I think for now, I'll leave it in just base A. Scylla, I think, got better with the changes in the game, but then they nerfed Echo, which would have made her strong as fuck. And I think she's just way too hard to play. I'll leave her in A because she's safe as hell. Her clear is fine now, by the way, if you go Conduit. That was one of the really big gripes was I can't clear as Scylla. It takes 2 abilities. It doesn't take 2 abilities anymore. Her clear is really good. The god is just hard to fucking play in the map. The layout of the map, the way the team fights go, it's really difficult to play. And I feel like landing it all consistently is nearly fucking impossible. Sobek, I think, is very good. It's just a base support that you can't really fuck up. You 2, you pluck, you ult, you're hard to kill, you have an execute. Can't go wrong. Soul, mid god. Hard to play late game. Doesn't matter about your damage output when you can just be jumped on an insta-die because you have basically a kit where you need to keep your space all the time, and that's impossible without true mobility. I hate Sun Wukong. I'm a pure hater of this fucking god. Don't play this shit. It does 0 fucking damage. Yes, I understand you don't die very often, but you also do fucking nothing. I'm putting this god in C. You can't change my mind. Why is it not? Whatever. You guys see it. I think Susano is the second best jungler in the game. I think my top 5 junglers would be I take Aladdin out of it because I think Aladdin should be banned every game. I think the god is just over the top, but Aladdin would be in there. Then Susano, Dodgy, Nemesis, and then I'd argue like Hunbats, Loki. I don't know if I'd ban Susano every game. I would, but I don't know if I'd tell you guys to. I think the god is just fucking OP. I think it's OP as fuck. You get a combat blink 3rd, you get a Magi's 5th or 6th. Your damage output is still ridiculous. If you argued S, I'd be fine with it. Definitely no lower than S, and I ban this god every game, so I'm gonna leave him there. Sylvanas is the best support in the game. Am I banning it? No. But Sylvanas is the best support in the game. Sobek's the easiest good support. Sylvanas, oh, that's a lie. The best support that's not SS. Sorry, there's one more to talk about, but we got to clarify that later. Sylvanas is the best support that you should play. Let me clarify. SS is pushing it. If you build wrong on Sylvanas, you won't have a fun time. Most people build wrong. You need some kind of mobility on this god, or you will die pretty much every time you try to do anything or walk anywhere by yourself. That's why I'm not putting him in SS. God's crazy though. CC, low cooldowns, one of the better ults in the game for supports. Sustain, defense, prots, everything you kind of need. I'm putting him in S. If you wanted SS, okay, sure. I think Thanatos is bad. I think this god pub stomps really, really hard because people are fucking horrible. But I think the god itself is fucking trash. The Morrigan, you gotta be like Mytheria to play the god. No one else should be playing it. Thor is cracked. I don't think I'm banning it, but Thor solo and jungle, top tier. I'm trying to think. Yeah, like both roles, just insanely valuable. Crazy value. I was a Tsukiyomi hater for a while. I'm starting to become a Tsukiyomi enjoyer. Would I put it in S though? Against some matchups, yes. Against all matchups, no. The problem with Tsukiyomi and what your average player runs into is if the other team is running at you, you don't play the fucking game. If your team doesn't have the pressure, you don't play the fucking game. You have good matchups into a lot of gods though, like Susano, Awilix, Nemesis, a lot of junglers in terms of the 1v1s. I think I'm gonna leave him an A+. I don't think he shits on half the gods in the game though. If you're talking grouping and rotating, if the other team has the engage advantage where the support is walking in, I feel like Tsukiyomi loses so much value. You do force people to go Aegis, but so do a lot of gods, right? I don't think Tsukiyomi is Loki but better at all. Tsukiyomi makes you go Aegis and then your ult does nothing. Loki makes you go Aegis and then you're stuck in that spot still and you're getting clapped as you come out of the Aegis. I'm not putting Tsukiyomi in S. I think if you have the aggressive comp, the dive comp, yes. Beyond S. Probably better than a lot of the other junglers at that point. But overall, throughout a game, you lose control, you lose pressure. I think the god is not the same. Where Dodgy without pressure is great. Nemesis without pressure, great. Susano without pressure, still great. Because you're waiting for them to overcommit. Tsukiyomi's not really doing that. Tsukiyomi's trying to be the one going in, spamming the 1-3, getting full value. I don't know. I think yes. I think I'm okay with this. Bull's fallen off a bit for me. I don't think he has a home right now. I don't think he's bad. I'd probably put him in A+. As much as I want Vulcan to be good, I think this god is so hard to play in the climate of the game. Almost B tier. Reason being, you can't really play Vulcan into Aladdin, Susano, Honor. Can't really play Vulcan into Agni. Can't really play Vulcan into Anubis. Can't really play Vulcan into Cab. Can't play it into Dodgy. You can kind of play it into Disco, tradable. Can kind of play it into Ganesh, but it's not really in your favor. Can't play it into Hou Yi. Can't play it into Jingwei. Can't play it into Loki. Merlin, tradable. Morgan Le Fay, kind of tradable. Neath, kind of tradable. Nem, it's pretty much an impossible matchup. Nut's kind of an impossible matchup. Sobek's impossible matchup. Sylvanas is hard. Thor is hard. Like, every god does well into Vulcan, and they don't do anything to make it hard to deal with Vulcan. Vulcan is good at being the last one into a fight as a mage, which is rough. You 100% get 3 relics on Tsukiyomi. I mean, you usually go Magi's. I think Combat Blink is worthless on Tsukiyomi, bro. I think it's such a, I don't know, maybe not worthless. I think it's very rarely valuable on someone like Tsukiyomi. I just don't think it does enough. I think you're probably getting like beads. You need to have Aegis almost every game. You're probably getting what beads 80% of your games. I think like I'm processing real team fights, right? Like, okay, Tsukiyomi combat blinks in and then has a long channel on all of your damage. Like, I think we're trolling. Like your 2 takes so long to get off that someone else should react and hit you during that time. Your 1 instant hits with the auto part, that animation is slow. So during that, you get by the 1, you're instantly taking damage again. Your 3 animation, pretty slow. Well, you're gonna use the combat blink to disengage, but you can just disengage with the Aegis beats. And once again, you're like the other team's in Aegis. So what the fuck do you do as soon as you ult and the other team Aegis? I don't know. Like I said, if the other team's walking at you, I think you just don't get to play the game as Tsukiyomi, so I can't put him in S. I feel like every other god can play the game regardless of it being engaged or engaging. In terms of the jungle, I don't think Tsukiyomi can. Shibbolage sucks ass. This god's butt. They got to figure out something for him. They nerfed the hell out of him, and it's just not been the same. All right, this is another Yumo or another Janus. Trans book Heartseeker. Yeah. So what? You do no damage and are farming for 40 minutes as a jungler when you're the second lowest farm in the game, and you're the lowest level in the game. I don't buy it. I don't buy it in this climate of jungle, bro. I don't buy it. Umoja's another Janus. If you're the best or just very, very, very good in understanding of Umoja, it's SS. But for everyone else, the other 99.9999999% of the game don't play this fucking god. C tier. Ymir. Dude, I had a Ymir on my team get a pentakill yesterday. Yesterday or 2 days ago? 2 days ago. Maybe it was yesterday. Might have been yesterday. It was nuts. I'm still not putting this god higher. It's insanely situational on whether you can get away with Ymir, and I don't think he's that strong because he dies late game. Now I've come around to Zeus. I've played against like 8 different people spamming Zeus. This shit is OP as fuck. You will die a lot if you're bad at positioning, but you can also build 3 active items to keep yourself alive and still do insane damage. I played against a motherfucker with an Aegis, a combat blink, and an AoE beads the other day, and still did insane damage. I would not ban it because you could dive it. I would almost ban it. I'll put him in S tier. On the aspects. We're going to power through these though. Achilles jungle is playable. That's it. A tier. Aspect Agni I think is still extremely slept on. It can be played ADC, it can be played mid, it can be played jungle, it can be played solo, all different builds. Amaterasu is trash. Honor Aspect is definitely still weaker than regular Honor, but I think it's playable. Like, I think it's actually pretty good. It's just regular Honor is better. Aspect Apollo got nerfed in the ground. I would not play it. Aspect Ares, maybe situational, probably ass. I'll leave it in situational. Aspect Artemis, fun, not really playable. You can kind of jungle it for fun. RDO Aspect, I don't know if I'd put it on the same. I think maybe A tier, kind of playable, maybe B tier, because why would you play it over regular? Athena Aspect, I think is trash. Atlas Aspect might be really good, it might not enough time around it. Bacchus Aspect is playable, but you're forcing in the jungle or you're playing it solo trying to do damage, cooking idiots. Baron Aspect, better than regular Baron, but I think this shit is not good. I don't think it's good. I think it's overhyped. I don't know why people are selling on it. I hate ranged frontline. I think it's always weaker. Putting it in B tier. Bologna Aspect's trash. Just because Bologna's bad. Kabrakan Aspect, pretty fun, playable. Yellow numbers out of mid. Wouldn't play it anywhere else. Serb Aspect is trash. Don't play it. Certain Aspect, hard to play, but insane pressure and still has really good clear and control, so I like it. Maybe S is a little pushing it. I'll go A+ because it's not safe. Chalk, I'd put right with regular Chalk. It's pretty much the same shit, just different playstyle. Chiron Aspect is trash. Don't play it. Cupid Aspect is forced, but if you're supporting on it, you could. The Dodgy Aspect still playable, but a lot weaker. I'd probably still put it in A+. It's going to pub stomp way harder than the other one. The other one's a lot more decision making. This is kind of just run people down, just longer cooldowns. Danza Aspect, right with regular Danza. You lose the CC, get the split push potential. I think they're both equally valuable. Just trade off. Disco Aspect, not really that good. I just don't think there's a build for her right now. Eastside Aspect, people were swearing this shit was OP and I've never seen it. I'll leave it in B tier for that. I want to put it in C tier. Fender Aspect is shit. Ganesha Aspect is fun but hard to play. Geb Aspect, what happened to Geb Aspect? Why is no one playing this shit right now? Did it get nerfed? It did get nerfed? Okay. I couldn't remember what changed. I just know it dropped off the face of the earth. I'll put it in C tier. You could probably still play it. That might be pushing it. Oh, the auto. Oh, yeah. It is awful. It is awful. I'll leave it in C tier. That's fine. Gilgamesh Aspect got balanced heavily. It's playable, but I don't think it's very good. I think it's kind of mid. Guan Aspect, you're a heal bot, and I think it's shit, but we could say it's situational if you have a comp that can have crazy value out of cooldown spam. Pretty much never, though. Akate Aspect is shit. You're never playing that. Hercules Aspect is shit. You're never playing that. Oh yeah, aspect is not good. No, I'm sorry, no. Losing the stun pretty much guarantees I'm running at you and you're gonna panic and you're gonna die and you're not gonna be able to bounce autos correctly. You're gonna leave your team out to dry and you're gonna lose. Don't play it. Unbat's aspect is really good. I think it's interchangeable which one you want to play. Yorm aspect, I would not play Yorm. I think Yorm's just bad right now. Definitely the aspect is bad. Kali aspect is kind of playable. It got balance / fixed, so you're not getting as much off yellow numbers. I still think it's good. I think it's just not safe, so I'm in between these two. I'll probably go A tier because of lack of safety. Too easy to dive. Khepri aspect got killed. They nerfed it. Kukulkan aspect is playable, but why would you unless you need magical frontline that does some kind of damage. Loki aspect is a lot better than people think. It's tanky, but it does a ton of damage. Merlin aspect, just play regular. Aspect's too hard for most people to play. Mordred aspect, I think it's a little weaker than the regular Mordred, but still playable with the same build. MLF aspect is good. I think it's a little overhyped for people out of the solo lane. I don't think you can play it anywhere else. Naja aspect, very good out of the solo lane, but probably overhyped by most people. It's annoying, easy to kill, kind of easy to deal with. Neath aspect, you shouldn't play it over other ADCs. Nem aspect is shit. I'd put it in D tier if I could. Nuwa aspect just got murdered, wouldn't play it. Nut aspect has been nerfed so many times I wouldn't play it. Osiris aspect, very hard to play consistently. You can't really, you could run it for fun out of a damage roll, but it's very hard to play. Pele aspect, people are saying it's balanced. I don't really know. I'll put it in A+ for now. It could be a little higher, it could be a little lower. Poseidon aspect is shit. Just play regular Poseidon. Raw aspect is shit. He has no role to play it in. Ram aspect is terrible. Rat aspect. My problem with rat aspect is that you want 2 acorns and they only have HP on them. So you become the squishiest motherfucker for such a long period of time that I'm not a fan of it. I don't think it's bad though. Sobek aspect, you're not playing ever. Soul aspect, you could force it, but you're not really running mage soul. There's just way better mages. I think Sun Wukong is shit. Sylvanas aspect is not playable in a real game. Thanatos aspect has been nerfed on the ground. You could technically play it, but you probably aren't unless you're forcing it a solo for some weird reason. Morrigan is nerfed into the ground, wouldn't play it. Thor aspect is solid, but it doesn't compete with regular Thor in my opinion. I'd probably go A+. Tsukiyomi aspect is fun. It's slept on. It can be played in mid. Don't think it's actually that great. Wouldn't go higher than A. Could go B, but I think you could pick it most games and be fine. I still think people have put time on this at all. It's weird. Vulcan tank is a bait. Couple tier lists ago, Andy put this shit in SS. It's a fucking bait, dude. Just go regular damage Vulcan in mid or don't play this motherfucker. Shivalake aspect can be played in mid. It does a lot more damage than people think. It's harder to get away with. You have good clear, but you're not that safe of a god. Most gods have a good matchup into a Shivalake ability based. My problem with it, I think Yamoja aspect is trash. Regular Yamoja 1 does more damage than the 2, and you lose the stun. So just play regular. It's less damage than aspect 1, but it's just play regular if you want to do damage, or don't play Yamoja at all because you're gonna miss everything anyway. Scylla aspect's been nerfed on the ground. You could play it, but I wouldn't. Reason being, if you miss your 1, you're worthless. The damage on this aspect has been nerfed into the ground. Scylla aspect is nowhere near the best one. This shit does 0 damage. Play this shit against me. If you miss your 1, I don't care about any of the damage you do. I could care less. Hit me all day. And this would be my OB34 tier list. It is interesting how it kind of like extremely balances out. Almost every aspect in the game is shit right now. Dude, think about it. Sun Wukong aspect at one point was like top pick. Nut aspect at one point was top pick. Nuwa aspect at one point was top pick. Khepri aspect was the only way to play Khepri at one point. Geb aspect was a top pick at one point. Bellona aspect was the only way you played Bellona at one point. Apollo aspect was very good for a little bit. It's kind of insane to see. I mean, even if you go up here, aspect Thanatos was the only way you played him for a while. Aspect Scylla was really good. Aspect Kukulkan was OP at one point. Aspect Baron was better at one point. What else? Yeah, I mean, kind of covers a lot. No. Yem and Janice are not. It doesn't matter. Nobody's playing Yamoja when we do the hey, only good players can play S tier. Nobody's playing Yamoja. I don't want to see Yamoja at all in those games. People don't know how to play it, and the high level players aren't going to be allowed to play it in those games. Bro, you guys are actually restarted. Hey guys, nobody's playing Yamoja when we do the low level fun games, okay? Because high level players can't play SS, and low level players aren't playing this shit. Holy fuck. But Andy, but Paul, did I ask? Did anyone mention those players but you? Huh? No. Shut the fuck up. We're good. We're locked in. Time for fun.